Hello guys, today I want to demonstrate you a new Laravel feature, new Laravel security feature released in Laravel 9.20, created by the same new superstar of Laravel team, Tim McDonald, who is still on fire with new functions. And this is a security feature that you can customize gates and policies results with your own status code, HTTP status code, instead of a default 403. He explained it all in a very good Twitter thread, why and how it works and all the links. And one of the links is the original pull request, which is actually a huge kind of article, again describing the problem, what is the new syntax possible, why, and what can you do with like form requests and other stuff around validation. So I advise you to read both, and I will link both in the description below. But for now, a demo. Imagine a scenario. You have a show page of some kind of resource, like for example projects 1 with ID 1, and you want to protect those resources by who created them. In the database, you have created by ID field, and for example I'm logged in with user ID 3 and I can access that, but if I go to some record, try to guess the record ID of another user, I should get 403 status code, which is how policies work. And this demo project, by the way, was quickly generated with our quick admin panel. I'm thanking to my past self to creating this project with my team so I can quickly create a table, a show page, and whatever I need for this demo. So you can generate something like that. Check out quickadminpanel.com. So that was a quick advertisement. But back to our own story with policies. You can take a look at project policy. It has a method view, which means that this project can be viewed only by user ID, the same as created by ID, and then you use that policy within the controller, for example, like this. One of the ways to use that is this authorize, ability, and then object. If you don't know much about policies, I can link in the description below a very good video, very popular video, where I generally describe Laravel auth, gates, policies, permissions, and stuff like that. Again, the link is in the description below. So that is how it works now before Laravel 9.20, and it will still continue to work this way. But what is kind of wrong or maybe not ideal in this scenario, if I go to some resource that doesn't belong to me, I get 403, which is an error, but which tells me that the record actually exists, but I just don't have access to it. And from security perspective, there is a difference. If I know that record exists by that ID, I may potentially try to guess other parts of the application and try to maybe hack into the system by that ID. Of course, you can use UUIDs instead of IDs, that's a separate topic. But anyway, knowing that the record exists may be a security issue even if you don't have access to that. And also imagine, for example, that for ID you use not ID for identifying, but for example a slug. Imagine in the project model you have get route key name slug. In the database we have a slug of, for example, Laravel Daily or Laravel News project name, and then you go to Laravel Daily, which is your own project, which is great, but then you're trying to guess, does Laravel News exist on that system? For example, you can guess that Microsoft has account on that system just by guessing the slug of Microsoft. So you get to Laravel News and you get 403. Oh, okay, so that project does exist. And that may be not only a security issue, but also a privacy issue. For example, someone may find out that their competitor has an account on some system. The problem is generally on the web is solved in a way that you don't provide status code as forbidden. Instead, you show, for example, 404 not found. Is it not found, or is it actually existing but you don't have access to? That is hidden from the user. An example of that within the thread by Tim is actually GitHub. Have you ever noticed that if you get invitation for some repository, but you go not logged into GitHub, you don't get redirected to login, you just get 404. Or if the repository itself is private, like in this case, even by knowing the URL and the vendor and the repository name, you load that and you still get 404. So Tim implemented something similar in Laravel 9.20, and now you can customize the policy like this. Instead of just returning true or false, you can add, in case of this being true, you do this allow, question mark, ternary operator of PHP. Otherwise, if it's false, you could do this deny. So that is the general syntax, but you can also now do deny as not found, like this. Now if we refresh the page, instead of 403 forbidden, we get 404 not found with 404 status code. Or you can totally customize that with deny with status and provide whatever status you want, 405 or whatever. That's probably incorrect, but anyway. So in this case, it still shows this action is unauthorized, but it sends the status code. If we go to network and refresh, we have 405 status code instead of 403. That may be especially important if you have API projects, so status codes are really important for the APIs. So that's it, a bit longer video to show a few lines of code, but I wanted to explain why and how such small change may be important for security of your project. As I said, both of those, tweet thread and original pull request with information, will be linked in the description below, and subscribe to the channel to get daily videos with news with latest Laravel versions. See you guys in other videos.